Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Wine Time with Peggy show, featuring Peggy Fiandaca, who along with her winemaker husband Kurt Lawrence Dunham, owns and operates LDV Winery in Arizona. Welcome back to Wine Time with Peggy. As the vineyards are in full harvest swing, we're celebrating the abundance of the season with a look back at some of Peggy's favorite fall-inspired recipes. In this episode, you'll learn how to make 3 fantastic dishes that celebrate both the grape and the apple: ricotta and roasted grape crostini, apple and blueberry crisp, and spiced apple chutney wontons. But first, we have some exciting news from LDV Winery. All September long, you can take advantage of LDV's best sale ever with 50% off cases of their 2019 Sky Island Viognier, 2017 Sky Island Grenache, 2017 Grenache, 2015 Sky Island Petite Syrah, and 2016 Petite Syrah. You can mix and match any of these bottles to build your perfect case, but please note no other discount applies, and this ends September 30th, 2025. And with cooler temperatures expected, they'll be able to start shipping wine again in October, and they're happy to hold your purchases until then. While we're on the topic of grapes and seasons, we want to celebrate a couple of important dates this month. First, on September 20th, it's International Grenache Day. As one of the most widely planted grapes in the world, LDV Winery is super proud of their Grenache, which they lovingly call the Pinot Noir of the desert. Then, on September 27th, it's National Tourism Day, and they invite you to come visit LDV Winery's tasting room in Scottsdale. It's an incredible road trip and a perfect fall getaway. Now let's get to the recipes. We're going to start with how to create some delicious ricotta and roasted grape crostini.
And actually, I'm having a dinner party, and I'm serving this for an appetizer. It's ricotta, cheese, and roasted grapes, crostinis. So it's very simple. It's made with seedless green and black or red grapes, and you roast them. You put a little olive oil and balsamic vinegar, drizzle some balsamic vinegar on. You you take the stems off and put them on a pan, toss them with all that, little salt and pepper, roast them for about 15 minutes until they just begin to pop a little bit, and make your crostini toast. And of course, I do that with a little olive oil and garlic and sometimes with butter even, and toast those and make those really nice. And you spread it with a little ricotta cheese, put the grapes on top of that, and put a drizzle of honey over top of that, a little salt and pepper, and rosemary, sprigs of chopped rosemary on top. Just a wonderful little appetizer, a little sweet, a little savory.
I like it.
A lot yummy. So
that sounds fabulous.
yeah.
Really. I never thought of roasting grapes. Now I want to do it just for the fun of it.
Roast, yes, especially if you get those huge things of grapes and maybe you've been eating them and they start maybe not looking the best as they can be. Roast them, and they're great with pork. Make a little sauce with roasted grapes and put it over your pork. Or again, just roast them a little bit with a little balsamic vinegar or flavored vinegars. Put it over cheeses like brie. They're just an easy, adds a little sweetness, a little pop to whatever you want.
Then let's look at your recipe, the apple blueberry crisp, which is interesting because apple and blueberries, you're going into my land of contrast. I like these kinds of dishes.
Oh, they're made for each other, right?
Yeah.
I think blueberries and apples are the perfect mix. Or pears, you could do pears and blueberries, I think is a nice mix also. But this has some lemon in it. I suggest instead of using Granny Smith apples, which a lot of people bake with Granny Smith, is a Macintosh or a Macone apple
Mm.
would really be good in this apple blueberry crisp. And basically, a crisp doesn't have a crust, right?
Yeah.
It's usually baked with the fruit and then with some kind of a topping. And this recipe actually uses graham crackers, which is instead of uh, adds a little
That's
bit of different flavor.
yeah,
Perfect,
like
yes.
that's a little spice in there too.
Adds a little bit of spice, so graham crackers, oatmeal, brown sugar, a little
Oh,
bit of granulated sugar, butter, of course, and a touch of kosher salt. But I don't have it in the recipe. I like spice, so I put more cinnamon and a little allspice in the
see,
topping also.
allspice is interesting to me because it's like that's a little bit of everything, and when you're pairing something, you better know if allspice is in there, like or not.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
it's one of those tertiary kind of aromas.
a
Very
little
important.
jazz.
It's
It's
in the
like
background.
a little magical. It's a little
Yeah,
magic touch to it. It's like, oh, let's just add a little this to see what happens. You have cherry pie, Pinot Noir, you say, right? And
right.
apple
Oh
pie,
gosh,
which
yeah,
we've talked about, apple
yeah.
pie. So would the apple pie versus the apple blueberry crisp be different in regards to what you're going to serve for wine with the apples?
I think the blueberry crisp, depending on how many of those spices, warm spices you put on it, you could even go to like a Grenache, a lighter red,
Hmm.
with the apple blueberry crisp because of all of those spices that you would put in there. Less so than in a true apple pie, which goes beautiful with a dry Riesling.
Hmm.
Um, again, depending on the sweetness of your pies.
Let's talk
Well,
about your recipe too. I don't want to
yeah,
forget about this because, you
no,
know, anything spiced and sweet, I'm 100% in with you.
right.
Spiced apple chutney wontons.
Yeah, so I came up with my wontons that are with an apple chutney. So you make an apple chutney with, I think it's you want a tart apple.
Mhm.
So Granny Smith or a tart apple, and it has brown sugar and raisins and dried cranberries I like to put in. I use pecan pieces that you chop really fine to make the chutney and butter, of course.
Hi, my
Cinnamon,
friend.
cinnamon, nutmeg, a little acid with the lemon juice, and a tiny bit of apple or apple cider juice or apple cider. And you make that chutney. And then it's real easy. You get wonton wrappers and put a little of this chutney in the center and seal it into a triangle, and then fry them up in canola oil and or some light oil, and top them with some powdered sugar or cinnamon sugar. Yum, you know.
Yes. Yes. What are
And
you
it's
pairing this? Because this has
right.
got some flavor.
It has some flavor, but I would reach for a California Oak Chardonnay, might be nice, or our award-winning Rhyolite Viognier would be wonderful with this.
I'm going
Yeah,
for your vignette because that's our babies.
yeah, and it's a fun date night kind of thing. And, I like Kurt and I love to cook together, and we did that when we're dating, and this is a fun recipe to do together.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio's Wine Time with Peggy show. Keep up with LDV Winery at ldvwinery.com. Keep up with Big Blend Radio at bigblendradio.com.